Hello everybody, hope you're doing well, and welcome to another installment in my YouTube Q&A series. This is where I answer questions submitted to me through my Instagram account. Now if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and thank you so much to everybody who submitted a question for this video. Let's get started. Emo Hamlet asks, what is one of your favorite memories from a tour? So I've made a ton of amazing memories on tours over the years. One of my favorites though was from back in 2016 when I had a show in Nashville, and after that show we were doing a greeting at our merch table. And of all people, Victor Wooten came up to us and said hello. Now if you don't know Victor Wooten, he's a world-renowned bassist, excellent musician, and somebody that I really look up to. So it was very cool for him to take some extra time to come up and congratulate us and tell us how much he enjoyed it. We didn't even know he was going to be at the concert, so it was a pretty cool thing, and it's always neat to be able to meet your heroes in person, especially when they turn out to be very friendly. Jay Brainer asks, which of your tattoos is your favorite? So my favorite tattoo I have is this eagle on my arm here. It's just super realistic, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I remember getting this in Toronto at Forever Young Inc. the day before I departed on tour with Marianas Trench. Now the funny thing is that every photo from that tour, my arm is just super red and swollen because the tattoo was healing, but luckily it healed up okay, and it's definitely my favorite. I also really love my Stevie Nicks portrait tattoo, but if I had to choose just one, I'd probably go with the eagle. Scootobs asks, who's taller, you or Andy Biersack? This is definitely one of the questions that I get asked most, and to put it to rest, Andy is a little bit taller than I am. But I can grow a better beard. Julio asks, who's your favorite SpongeBob character? My favorite SpongeBob character is Patrick Star. He's just such a star, and I also just found out that the actor who voices him is the same actor who plays Marshall Erickson's dad in How I Met Your Mother. So that's kind of cool. Beersack K asks, how long does it take to do your stage makeup? So my makeup look when I'm playing with Black Veil Brides looks something like this. And it doesn't take too long to do. It's just about, 15 minutes. It's just a foundation followed by some pencil eyeliner, some eyeshadow, some mascara, and then I do the lines on my face. On top of that, we have the body paint that we put on our arms and neck. But yeah, it doesn't take too long. Just 15, 20 minutes. Arizona 97 asks, what's your favorite song? My favorite song of all time is Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. It's just so good, and in my opinion, it really is music at its finest. I love the guitar solo, how it uses the volume swells, the simplicity of it. The chord progression is just 2 chords throughout the entire song. You never see that, but they pull it off so well. I just can't say enough good things about it. It's awesome, so definitely check out Dreams by Fleetwood Mac if you haven't heard it yet. Jacket asks, in a food fight, what's your weapon of choice? I've never been in a food fight, so I can't say I have too much experience on the subject, but I would probably have to go with the pineapple. All the spikes, it'd be pretty effective. Jay Frank asks, what's the weirdest thing you've got from a fan? So I truly appreciate any gift that a fan is willing to give me, and I really mean that. But yeah, something that comes to mind, not that these are weird gifts, but it's kind of a funny story. So one time a fan tweeted me and they said, do you like Minions? The little creatures. And I haven't even seen the movie, but I just responded to them and I was like, yeah, I love Minions. I wasn't really thinking too much about it. Next thing I know, everyone got the impression that I was obsessed with Minions, and every show I did for the rest of the tour, fans would come up and give me Minion-related gifts. I got keychains, belt buckles, stuffed animals, you name it. And the funny thing is that I had never even seen the movie, so it was kind of funny, but I did really appreciate the gifts, and I still have them to this day. Draco Logica asks, what was the first album you ever bought? The first CD I ever bought was Chumbawamba. Now, this was a long time ago. I was probably like 5 years old or something. And if you don't know the band Chumbawamba, they have that song, I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. That song, classic. Neotsu asks, when you came to Mexico, did you get to know the city? If so, what did you like most? Unfortunately, I didn't really get to explore the city at all when I was there in March with Black Veil Brides. Reason being that it was my first concert with the band, and I had so much to think about, and I was pretty preoccupied just given that it was my first show. So I had a lot to do and prepare, and as much as I would have loved to go and explore, that's kind of where my head was at for that trip. Inside 2 Moon asks, would you ever dye your hair a ridiculous bright color or more than one color at once? So I've actually done the black hair with a blonde streak look a few times in the past, and that's always fun. But on top of that, I've also gone full-on blonde before, too. So it's pretty shocking. I know, looks very different. But, you know, I'm glad I tried it. Truth be told, though, it didn't really turn out that well. It was kind of an orangey look and not very blonde. So I actually only kept it for 2 days, and then I went right back to black. But, you know, I felt good for having tried it. And I've thought about revisiting that, maybe trying it again sometime in the future, but next time I would definitely do it professionally and not try and do it myself. Autumn is Okay asks, if you were a piece of furniture, what would you be? This is probably one of the most obscure questions I've ever been asked, but I'll try and answer it anyways. So I have this Moroccan style door hanging up on my wall as a piece of art. Now, if you've been following my channel for a while, you might have seen this in the background of some of my other videos. So this was something that my wife and I bought when we were in Morocco visiting last summer. And we brought it back home. It was a pain to fly with, but we managed. And yeah, we both think it looks pretty cool. It's a neat style. If you're interested in hearing more about this door, I'm going to link a video in the description below where you can hear me tell the full story on the Andy Show podcast. Fachet It Was asks, when is your birthday? My birthday is January 1st. Do you like Star Wars, Kylo Ren, or Darth Vader? If the answer is yes, did you like the ending of episode 9? I do enjoy Star Wars, and out of the two, I would choose Kylo Ren. I just think he has a cooler costume, and I love his voice. Now, Vader's great too, but I would choose Kylo Ren. Regarding the ending of the last movie, I was okay with how it ended. I really enjoyed it, although I would have loved to see Anakin Skywalker's Force Ghost in there somehow. I think that would have put a nice cap on the Skywalker saga. I don't know why Hayden Christensen didn't make a physical appearance in the movie, but I would have enjoyed it a lot more had he been involved. Rio Rask asks, is this a Tommy Thayer, Mark Wahlberg rock star story? Tell us. Yeah, it definitely is. You know, it's certainly easy to make comparisons between my story and Mark Wahlberg's character in the movie Rockstar. Having been a fan of Black Veil Brides for so long and to now be in the band is a super cool thing. And yeah, it's definitely easy to make comparisons between myself and the storyline in that movie. There's a scene in that movie where he's doing his first photo shoot with the band and he's super excited. And that is pretty much identical to the way I felt when I did my first photo shoot with Black Veil Brides. So yeah, I can definitely relate to that movie, and it's a pretty cool circumstance. Ashley Van asks, any tips for teaching yourself how to play guitar? My advice for teaching yourself guitar would be to approach the learning from as many different angles as possible. Find as many different learning tools as you can rather than focusing on just one. Now, when I first started playing, I taught myself for 6 months before I took any lessons, and in those 6 months, I actually made quite a bit of progress. So I'm going to share with you some of the best learning methods that I found when I was teaching myself in those first 6 months. One of the best things you can do is learn from friends. If you have any friends who play guitar, ask if they want to get together and jam. And you can just show each other riffs that you know, and they can teach you things, you can teach them things. This was a very important thing for me early on as a young musician. Another method you can use is YouTube. YouTube has a lot of great videos. Just do a search for beginner guitar lessons and there'll be a ton of good stuff that comes up. Very useful. Another method that worked really well for me that I still use to this day that a lot of people don't even consider is using instructional books. Go to your local music store and find a beginner guitar method book. And those books are often very well written, very well laid out. And the cool thing about them is that you can go along and read through at your own pace. And I find they're a great way to learn guitar. Now, when all else fails, nothing can quite beat the expertise of a private teacher. Now, sometimes these lessons can be pricey and out of our reach, but if that's the case, and don't let that discourage you, remember there are tons of other great resources available to you, especially during this day and age. So that would be my advice. Approach it from as many different angles and learning resources as you can, and you're bound to see lots of results in no time. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please like and subscribe. Thank you to everybody who submitted a question for this video. I will see you next time.